Hello and welcome to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. We're coming to you live from Beard Field in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, where tonight the Michigan Wolverines take on the Indiana Hoosiers in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. Maybe not the first round, given that the Wolverines got here on a bye. Indiana's coming here after beating Wisconsin. Megan Betza on the rubber for the Wolverines. What are we looking at today? Jeremy Parks alongside me, as always.
Hefty quarterfinal matchup for the Wolverines, their first action of the weekend. Indiana coming into this one pretty ready, game ready after winning last night's final contest against Wisconsin by a score of 4-0. Wolverines, with Megan Betza in the circle, she looks to continue her dominance. The strikeouts continue to rack up as she comes into this one. It'll be a pitcher's matchup as Megan Betza will be faced against Josie Wood for the Hoosiers, an equally formidable pitcher. The Wolverines looking to do what they can to get out of the quarterfinals and into tomorrow's semifinal and championship game doubleheader.
Leading off for the Hoosiers, the center fielder Rebecca Blitz, about ready to step into that left-handed batter's box. It is a beautiful night here in Pennsylvania. First pitch will be about 8:23. Your umpires on the day: behind home plate, Sally Keller; at first base, Leah Bowen; at second base, Bill Gomeluk. Betza looks in, gets the sign, winds, and delivers. And the first pitch misses high for ball one.
First pitch at approximately 8:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Game time temperature 64 degrees. The sun just beginning to set behind us here in Happy Valley at Beard Field.
Betza looks in, gets the sign from Aiden Falk. Winds and delivers the 1-0 pitch. Check swing and a foul back toward the Indiana dugout. It bounces off the backstop and back toward third baseman Lindsay Montemurano. Blitz on the season, hitting .360 out of the leadoff spot. A .423 on base percentage. She stands with a slightly open stance near the back of the box, feet pretty close together.
And two quick ones to open for Megan Betza high, trying to get Blitz to chase. We'll see what she does here in the 1-1.
The wind up, the pitch on its way. Blitz with the run-up, she lets it go by, and it's called a strike on the outside corner. The count moves to 1-2 on Rebecca Blitz.
Good pitch there by Megan Betza to get ahead in the count at 1-2 now. Just caught that outside part of the plate. Tried the rise ball twice, couldn't get a fishing swing from Blitz.
Infield and outfield in. Sierra Lawrence, the center fielder, shaded toward the left center field gap. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. Blitz down on strikes. Went after the off-speed pitch. It stayed high and out of the zone, but Blitz was off balance, and that's the first strikeout probably of many on the day for Megan Betza.
236 Ks on the season for Megan Betza coming into today's game. Make that number 237, picking up right where she left off coming into this one.
That brings up the righty Erin Lehman. She's playing second base today. The first pitch on its way from Betza. Fastball just missed a bit low for ball one.
Close pitch on the outside part of the plate. Home plate umpire Sally Keller did not go up with the right hand. Catcher Aiden Falk held it there for an extra beat.
Couldn't get the call. Lehman hitting .327 on the year. The junior second baseman awaits. The 1-0 pitch to the righty Lehman. Breaking ball on the outside corner, thigh high for a called strike one.
Opponents hitting just .152 on the season against Megan Betza. Her performances have been nothing short of dominant with a 22-3 record coming into this.
Infield and outfield shaded straight away. Betza winds the 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses high, and the count now 2-1 on Erin Lehman.
Looking comfortable in the circle so far is Megan Betza. Has been known to get a little carried away with that rise ball, but that just the third pitch we've seen so far in the top of the first inning here.
Betza looks in, gets the sign from Falk. The 2-1 pitch on its way. Fastball on the inside corner for a called strike two. Home plate umpire Sally Keller a bit slow going up with the right hand, but she did indeed go up, and the count moves to 2-2. The Big Ten flags adorn the outfield fence. It is 220 feet to center and 200 feet down either line, just like Alumni Field, but the wall a little bit taller here at Beard Field. The 2-2 pitch on its way, swing and a line drive down the left field line, hooking toward the corner, and it ricochets off the wall in the air, but foul.
Really good contact from Lehman there. Christner over in left giving chase, unable to reach that one. Probably about 5 feet to the left of that foul pole in left field.
Yeah, Falk set up low on the outside corner. Betza missed up and in, and Lehman, to her credit, drove the ball well. She's second on the team in RBI with 27 on the season. Betza comes set. The 2-2 pitch again on its way. Swing and a miss. Lehman down on strikes. A breaking ball down low and away. And Lehman went fishing.
I think a lot of people, Tigers and Nationals fans especially, could have been surprised the other night with Max Scherzer. 20 strikeouts in that one. But when fans watch Megan Betza this season, it's been pretty much that story. I mean, the majority of her outs, and I mean the vast majority of her outs produced by the K. 2 already, 2 up, 2 down.
That's going to bring up Shannon Cawley, the righty, with a bit of a closed stance, awaits the first pitch, and it misses high for ball 1. Cawley hitting .279 on the season with 3 home runs and 17 RBI.
And once you get past the first 2 hitters in this Hoosiers lineup, a lot of the speed factor is lost on the base paths. Only 2 attempts on the season for Cawley, win on base.
The 1-0 pitch from Betza, fastball misses low and in, and the count moves to 2-0 on the senior Shannon Cawley. This outfield for the Michigan Wolverines doesn't like to play too far back. They're about straight away right now. The flags adorning the outfield fence in center are dormant. No wind right now on this beautiful Friday evening. Betza, the 2-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball in there for a called strike right down the middle at the knees, and the count moves to 2-1 on Cawley.
Perfectly placed pitch there from Megan Betza.
Nobody on 2 outs for the Hoosiers, wearing their blinding crimson red jerseys, white pants. Michigan also in white jerseys with blue pants. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball, called strike on the outside corner, about thigh high. The count moves to 2-2. Good location there from the junior righty.
And after falling behind in the count 2-0, this is what makes a great pitcher, being able to come back and even the count at 2-2.
Nobody on 2 outs, 2-2 the count. Betza gets her sign, working quickly, winds. The pitch. Breaking ball misses low and away, and Cawley lets it go by. The count moves full at 3-2 with Karamia Cerrigos on deck.
Betza trying to go 3 up, 3 struck out to end the first inning here. Going to take a good pitch on Cawley. Has only struck out 13 times on the season.
Betza gets her sign. The payoff pitch on the way. Breaking ball just misses off the plate away. And that's ball 4. Cawley down to first base with a 2-out walk.
And one thing that comes with the heavy pitch count that Megan Betza normally features, not only the 230-plus strikeouts, but also 81 walks on the year coming into this game, make that number 82 on the season. First base runner of the evening for the Hoosiers.
That'll bring up Karamia Cerrigos. She stands tall toward the back of the righty batter's box. Bat nearly parallel to the ground over her right shoulder. The first pitch, a breaking ball, just misses low for ball 1. Cerrigos with 6 home runs and 23 RBI to go with a .288 average. Her left foot way in the bucket, as they say, pointing down toward Montemarano at third base near the edge of the batter's box. Her left foot straddling that line. The 1-0 pitch on its way from Betza. Fastball called strike on the inside corner, and the count moves to 1-1.
Aiden Falk and Megan Betza, the battery tonight. Falk making the calls early here. Trying to frame those pitches, did a good job with the last one.
Betza looks in, gets the sign, comes set. The 1-1 pitch on its way to Cerrigos, swinging a tapper toward the first base side. Romero charges and flips over to first. Cerrigos not moving too quickly out of the box. Betza was fooled, but the Wolverines get the out and get out of the inning with no damage. We head to the bottom of the first, still scoreless here at Beard Field in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania. The Wolverines looking to get on the board against the Indiana Hoosiers down here in Penn State.
Morris easily fooled. Worth noting that the game just before this one, this was a scheduled 8 p.m. first pitch, didn't get underway until 8:23. The last contest between the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Nebraska Cornhuskers went a full 7 innings. With the Penn State Nittany Lions, the home host here in the tournament, coming out of that one victorious. They will play the winner of this game tomorrow. Weather permitting, that start time is scheduled for 3:30. However, it looks like thunderstorms are due in the area in the early afternoon tomorrow.
Josie Wood on the rubber for the Indiana Hoosiers. She's got a big run-up on her pitches. The lefty with a bit of juice on her. The lineup she will be facing today, leading off and playing center field, is Sierra Lawrence. Hitting second, playing second base is Sierra Romero. Hitting third, the left fielder, Kelly Christner. Hitting fourth in right field, Kelsey Susala. Hitting fifth, the first baseman, Tara Blanco. Hitting sixth in catching, Aiden Falk. Hitting seventh, the designated player, Faith Canfield. Hitting eighth at third base, Lindsay Montemarano. And hitting ninth, the shortstop, Abby Ramirez. Business as usual for the Wolverines, looking to take home a victory here at this night game.
Just watching Josie Wood in the circle warm up for the Hoosiers. Very unique pitching style. Starts all the way at the back of the circle. And as Morris said, very good run up. Get a lot of power and pop on those pitches. Saw a few of those warm up pitches go a bit high. Perhaps the pop in her step as she releases the ball, letting it come up just a little bit. We'll see if that is how she goes here in the start of the first inning, and that was hopefully just a warm-up, but a very unique delivery. I haven't seen anything like that before.
Her battery mate behind home plate is Kelsey Dotson. She readies and takes her position as Sierra Lawrence steps into the batter's box for the Wolverines. The senior center fielder hitting .441 on the season, a .568 on-base percentage for the Michigan Wolverines. A formidable force at the beginning of any lineup, and she's got pop to go with it with 10 home runs. Ready, Lawrence awaits the first pitch. She takes, and it's a fastball off the plate away for ball one.
A real place setter in this lineup for the Wolverines, .568 on base percentage. Gets them going strong at the start of games with that high percentage of getting on base.
The 1-0 pitch, fastball, misses off the plate away, and the count now 2-0. That one a bit higher. A bit closer, but not over the plate. Lawrence loves to feast on pitches when ahead in the count. She's got power to all fields, but most notably to the pull field. The 2-0 pitch, that one in there on the outside corner for a called strike one. The count moves to 2-1.
Good pitch there from Wood, able to come back in the 2-0 count. Brings it 2-1.
Took a little bit off it, and it broke back door on Sierra Lawrence. The 2-1 pitch on its way. Lawrence takes, and it misses high for ball three.
Wood definitely brings some good speed on those pitches. Wolverine's going to try and time it here early. Sierra Romero waiting on deck, timing her swings in the warm-up circle.
The 3-1 pitch, fastball misses off the plate away just barely, and Lawrence down to first base with a lead-off walk. You mentioned how good Sierra Lawrence is at setting the table. She is perfect in her stolen base attempts this year, 18 for 18.
And talking about setting the table, guess who's here to clean it up? The Big Ten Player of the Year, Sierra Romero, touting that .485 batting average coming into this one with a .947 slugging percentage. Power numbers out the wazoo.
First pitch, fastball misses off the plate away for ball one, and Josie Wood is having some struggles finding the strike zone. In her 150 innings pitched this season, she has walked 72. The 1-0 pitch to Sierra Romero. She takes, and it's a fastball just off the plate away. Wood not getting the borderline calls and suffering for it. This lineup, well, you have to pitch around these hitters, but if you dig yourself into too deep a hole, Michigan will punish you for it.
Pitching around, if no one else, the most dangerous hitter in this lineup.
Ooh, the 2-0 pitch up and in and hits Sierra Romero as she twists out of the way. I think it got her on the upper left arm, and she trots down to first base with a free pass. You know, probably the best outcome for Indiana at this point, behind in the count, looking to limit damage here in this first inning, as Kelly Christner now hitting against the lefty Wood.
Romero appears to be all right, having a quick conversation down at first with Bonnie Thole. Hit her right above the 32 on her back there. Was able to twist out of the way and avoid the brunt of that ball. As we said, Wood brings a lot of speed on those pitches, so not the most fun thing to come at you.
Christner, the lefty, hitting .305 on the season. The first pitch on its way. Called strike on the outer edge, just below the belt. Christner with 6 home runs and 28 RBI. She stands with a wide open stance. Holds the bat nearly parallel to the ground over her left shoulder. The 0-1 pitch swung on, grounded back up the middle. That one going to get stopped, cut off by the shortstop Golovich. And as such, the runners will hold, but it's an infield single for Kelly Christner. The runners advance, and the bases are loaded for Kelsey Susala.
That one just trickled right under the glove of Wood. Looked like a slow motion ball almost as shortstop tried to range over Golovich and unable to make the play, but the Wolverines now with the bases juiced, as Morris likes to say, ducks on the pond. for Kelsey Susala.
The outfield shading her to pull. The lefty Susala hitting .364 on the season. The first pitch on its way, swung on and hit high. Deep down the right field line, tracking toward the corner. It makes its way over the fence, but it is a foul ball, just foul, off the bat of Susala, bidding for a long ball grand slam to start off this game for the Wolverines.
Still none out in the inning. Wood finding herself in some early trouble. How she deals with it here may characterize how her evening will go. Wolverine hitters known to chase pitchers out early.
The 0-1 pitch. Susala thought about it, held up, but the pitch is over the outside corner for a called strike 2.
One of the first calls I've seen Wood given on the outside edge so far today.
So the count 0-2. Susala going to have to battle with Tara Blanco on deck. The 0-2 pitch on its way. She takes, and it's a breaking ball just off the plate, low and away for ball 1. The count moves to 1-2 on the senior Susala.
Susala, the most strikeout prone of the Wolverines batters, struck out 21 times on the regular season.
The 1-2 pitch on its way. Susala swings and misses. Breaking ball, I think, up in the zone at the letters, and Susala could not catch up. Good high-pressure pitch there from Wood, who is 1/3 of her way out of this jam.
And I cursed that one. Second, I had to bring up her strikeout statistics. Down she goes, but there is no lack of depth in this Wolverines lineup with Tara Blanco stepping to the plate now.
The infield has moved in for the Indiana Hoosiers. Not too far in at the corners, but up the middle. They have pinched in. The first pitch to Blanco, swung on and fouled back into the crowd just to our right. Barely above the screen. That ball, a screamer off the bat of Tara Blanco. She's behind on the count, 0-1. Blanco hitting .415 on the year. Tied for second on the team with 10 home runs. Second on the team alone with 57 RBI. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt, smothered by the catcher Dotson, and the count moves to 1-1.
Good job by Dotson there. Any wild pitch would likely score the speedy Lawrence at third.
1-1 the count. Wood settles herself on the rubber, looks in, gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch, swinging a rocket deep into right center field, tracking back toward the wall, off the top of the wall. It bounces down to the right fielder, Carly, gets it in the infield. The tag at second base in time. Blanco out trying to stretch a single into a double, but 2 runs do score. It's a 2-run single for Tara Blanco, and now with 2 outs, Kelly Christner waits on third base.
Tara Blanco has not moved off of second base yet, pleading her case that the tag was missed by the second baseman, Aaron Lehman, but the umpire over at second base, Bill Gamalik, gives her the right arm, and she heads back to the dugout, but a Blanco bomb off the wall gets the Wolverines on the board here in the bottom of the first.
You know, with these higher walls, that might have been gone at Alumni Field. The first pitch to Aiden Falk, check swing foul, bouncing back to the screen. And that pitch was up and out of the zone, off the plate away. Blanco went and got it and absolutely crushed it. So Christner on third, 0-1 the count on Aiden Falk, the catcher, hitting .321 on the season. The lefty Falk awaits the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball and it misses low for ball 1. There's no instant replay in college softball, so Bill Gamalik able to be steadfast in his ruling. Blanco tried to dive toward the inside part of the bag. But like it or not, she was called out. The 1-1 pitch to Falk, swinging a tapper toward the right side, fielded by the second baseman Lehman, flips over to Uden at first and retires Aiden Falk. So the Wolverines don't make the most out of the bases loaded, but Blanco drives home 2, and the score stands at 2-0 as we head to the top of the second inning here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. I expected a little more out of that rally for the Wolverines.
A little bit, but a good job by Wood. I mean, considering she had the bases loaded with none out, she was able to get out of it with only 2 runs given up to one of the most dangerous hitting teams in the country. The number 2 Wolverines coming into this one with a 44-4 record. They were 21-2 in Big Ten conference play during the regular season. Meanwhile, the Indiana Hoosiers coming in at 29-24. They had a 10-13 record in Big Ten conference play. Good enough to give them a 9 seed in this tournament. As we mentioned, they beat the Wisconsin Badgers, the 8 seed last night, 4-0 to advance to today's game. Winner of this one will play the hosting Penn State Nittany Lions here tomorrow. Again, that game's scheduled for 3:30. subject to change due to inclement weather potentially.
Did Trainer pitch that first game for Indiana, Tara Trainer, or was
She did.
okay? Yeah,
I believe.
I think she threw a shutout.
I would have to go back and look. Yes, it was 4-0. I think she went 7 full.
So she will be the option out of the pen today for the Hoosiers if Josie Wood strays too far off the track. So Betza back on the bump here to start the second inning. Recorded 2 outs via the strikeout in the first inning. Led on a 2-out walk in Shannon Cawley, but then retired the final batter via ground out. The hitter she will face this inning, leading off, will be Michelle Huber, followed by Kelsey Dotson and then Taylor Uden. We're just finishing up our warm-ups. The lights beaming down here at Beard Field.
Had a good drive from Ann Arbor here this afternoon. Beautiful, picturesque through Pennsylvania. Really enjoyed seeing some hills and mountains. Good to get out of the flatlands of Michigan for a while.
Through the heart of Appalachia, as I said about 20 times during the ride. I'm sure Jeremy got sick of my musings.
That's all right. I was pretty content seeing as I got to empty the change bin. $11 toll on the Ohio Turnpike. Used all change. We had to wait about 5 minutes for the attendant at the toll road to count all of that change, but she did, and I had $11 even.
Yeah, credit for her. I felt sorry for her. It's not like we had any place to be or anything. Leading off, Michelle Huber for the Nittany Lions, hitting .278 on the season. The first pitch on its way from Megan Betza. Breaking ball right down Broadway, high for a called strike 1 on Michelle Huber.
Betza looking to pick up where she left off in the top of the first. 2 strikeouts in that half inning of work.
0-1 the count on Huber. Nobody on, nobody out. Betza winds and delivers. Fastball misses high for ball 1. We have the pleasure of a Big Ten Network broadcast on the TV in our radio booth, so we will be able to see replays. And let me tell you, that breaking ball, first pitch to Huber, absolute filth. In case you couldn't see it the first time. The 1-1 pitch now on its way from Betza. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Huber chased it down in the dirt, and she's behind in the count 1-2.
Continually changing the speed, adjusting the eye levels on these Indiana hitters, bringing very early success for Megan Betza. You mentioned the TV in the booth. Wonderful facility here at Beard Field.
Absolutely no complaints except for maybe the lack of snacks we haven't eaten in a while. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. Huber down on strikes. Again with that breaking ball, a hard breaker dipping down out of the zone. And Betza has her 3rd strikeouts out of the 4 outs she has recorded.
I know I like to say when she gets 7 strikeouts on the day, she's got 1 for each day of the week. I'm really closing in, hoping, I know it probably is very unrealistic, but maybe 1 for each day of the year. We're at 239.
It's going to require quite a playoff run. The first pitch to Kelsey Dotson on its way. It's a fastball, and it misses just high, about letter high, to the catcher Dotson. She's hitting .272 on the season, stands in the righty batter's box, and Dotson has 2 home runs to go along with 21 RBI.
I wonder if Megan Betza struck out every single batter from now to potentially the College World Series, if she would get to that number.
We'll get the I-team on that. The 1-0 pitch on its way. Breaking ball misses low in the dirt, and the count now 2-0 on Dotson, who stands at the very front of the batter's box. An interesting approach given the speed of the ball coming out of the right hand of Megan Betza, but perhaps enabling her to get the breaking balls before they take their most brutal drop. The 2-0 pitch on its way now from Betza. She winds and delivers. Fastball called strike on the inside corner. Aiden Falk doing a good job of securing the edges, framing well behind the plate for the Wolverines.
Dotson's back foot parallel with the leading edge of home plate. As Morris said, that front foot almost at the very white line edge of the batter's box.
She's crouched low, holds the bat pointing upward. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball just misses low, and the count moves to 3-1 on Kelsey Dotson. Falk good at framing on the edges, but neither side has gotten the benefit of the doubt on the low strike today.
Relatively. There have been a few calls, but both Wood and Betza continuing to go after it on the edges.
3-1 the count now on Dotson. Betza winds and delivers. Breaking ball. That one's a called strike on the outside corner. About belt high, and the count moves full on Dotson.
Bringing that 3-1 count back to full Megan Betza trying to get another strikeout here.
The infield and outfield remains straight away, perhaps a little deep up the middle with Ramirez and Romero. The 3-2 pitch on its way. Breaking ball swung, grounded fair down the third baseline. That one's going to roll in toward the corner. It's cut off by Christner. She fires on one hop into Romero, and Dotson will hold at first base. Not a very big turn. Wasn't thinking two out of the box. Wisely so. So it's a one-out single, and that's going to bring up Taylor Uden for the Indiana Hoosiers.
These Hoosiers have not made bad contact on Betza's pitches so far. A few in the top of the first made pretty solid contact. I believe it was Shannon Cawley hit one just a bit to the left of that foul pole out and left.
Taylor Uden awaits the first pitch on its way from Megan Betza. Fastball called strike in under her hands on the inside corner. It's rare that we see a ball beat Montemurano down the line at third base. Usually so quick with the reactions, quick with the hands, but Dotson just laced it, to her credit.
Quite the hot glove at the hot corner.
Uden hitting .274 on the season. The 0-1 pitch swung on and lined foul toward the Michigan dugout. Coach Carol Hutchins takes a few steps back down below the protective netting. That one maybe about 7 or 8 feet to her left. Saw her life and career flash before her eyes. And what a lengthy career it has been, and an excellent career. 0-2 the count now on Taylor Uden. Betza winds and delivers. Rise ball misses high, and the count moves to 1-2.
Part of that career, 10 Big Ten tournament championships. Michigan just completed their 9th consecutive conference championship for regular season play. Betza
kicks some dirt around at the rubber. Now comes set, gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. Uden down on strikes. A fastball up in on the hands, and Uden just blown away.
Great work by Megan Betza there. Gets her 4th strikeout of the afternoon. She's up to 240 even on the season. Astronomical strikeout numbers.
Will we see her hit 250 by the end of the game? That is a question.
That would mean 14 strikeouts on the day. Tall order.
That brings up Rachel O'Malley. The righty awaits the first pitch, and it's a breaking ball. Drops in under the hands for a called strike one. 1 on 2 outs for the Hoosiers. They trail 2-0 to the Wolverines in the top of the second here at Beard Field in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania.
In the shadow of Beaver Stadium, the massive Penn State football field, right in left field. Not as big as the Big House, but big.
O'Malley holds the bat out in front of her, now pulls it back, swings at the 0-1 pitch and pops it foul over the screen and off of the roof of this relatively new press box. Jeremy told me that this stadium has undergone some recent renovations.
I don't think it was renovation. I think it was just newly built in 2010. Not sure, though.
It is absolutely pristine. A grass outfield, cross-cut, just beautiful. Everything is perfect. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Betza near perfect so far today. Her 5th strikeout in 2 innings. And again, the Hoosiers go down quietly. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Michigan leads Indiana 2-0 here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. We thank those of you who have tuned in.
We do thank you for tuning in, and also, as always, invite you to interact with us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. We love our fan interactions. If there's any question you may have about what's going on in the game, we do our best to describe it for you, but we always love to interact with our fans, both on Twitter, and be sure to follow our YouTube page, subscribe, WCBN Sports. We have 2 channels now. We've been in 2 places at once for well over a season now. Baseball and softball cross the yard at the Wilpin Complex, but today in Happy Valley, we are the only broadcast on WCBN Sports.
Maybe the only broadcast that matters in the entire United States of America today.
Probably.
We also interact with people who we're always monitoring the comments on our YouTube video. Actually, the answer to our trivia question in our most recent broadcast came via the YouTube video. A very quick answer. Our listeners know their stuff as far as Michigan softball is concerned.
I'm going to pour some work here in the half innings. We'll look for a trivia question
I've
of the third
got
inning.
Some. I've
you
got
one
some,
already?
Jeremy.
Okay.
I was reading I
will concede.
An MLive article on Michigan softball, and they had some good nuggets about players of the year, stuff like that. So
All right.
it'll be along those lines once the trivia question comes in the third inning.
Fair enough. I will give you that.
Thank you. Josie Wood back out on the rubber to start the second inning. Her first inning didn't go so well at the beginning. She walked Sierra Lawrence and hit Sierra Romero to start things off. Krishna reached on an infield hit to load the bases. Susala and Blanco both came within very small margins of sending the ball out for a grand slam. Susala's long ball went foul and Blanco hit the top of the wall. The Wolverines did scrape across 2 runs, but that is where they were held. We have received intel that the call at second base was quite dubious as far as Tara Blanco's slide is concerned, but again, you can't really expect him to change it out there on the field.
Not much to be done about it, as the inning ended right after that anyways, via the ground out.
Leading off is Faith Canfield, the first pitch, fastball called, strike just above the belt.
Canfield packing a little pop these days, 3 long balls, 14 RBIs in that bat, showing that quick warm-up swing.
She's hitting .316 on the year, the 0-1 pitch. Fastball starts high, that one stays high, and Canfield lets it go by for ball 1, the count even at 1-1. The outfield again straight away on the freshman Canfield. Infield as well, slightly in at the corners. The 1-1 pitch, Canfield takes, and it's a fastball off the plate away. The count now 2-1. The infield for the Hoosiers at third base is Rachel O'Malley. At shortstop is Sarah Golovic. At second base, Lehman, and Canfield swings at 2-1 pitch and grounds it right under the glove of O'Malley at third and into left field. A rocket in the hole between short and third for a leadoff single.
O'Malley was played in pretty close on that third baseline. Unable to get the glove down in time. Perhaps if she had played a bit more back, would have been able to make a play, but a leadoff single for Faith Canfield.
Lindsay Montemurano coming up to bat with, I think, new walk-up music, Run This Town by Rihanna.
Interesting, switching it up for the tourney.
Monty hitting .319 on the season. Hits with Canfield on first and nobody out. The first pitch from Wood, big cut and a miss. Monty out in front of the breaking ball.
I'm still excited for the day where we get kind of like intro music to our broadcasts. I'm a big fan of Victor Martinez's old walk-up song, La Gozadera. Played it for you in the car on the way here today.
It was hype. We'll get there. We'll get there, Jeremy.
We will. We will.
The 0-1 pitch on its way. Monty squares to bunt, pulls back. The pitch misses off the plate away, and the count moves to 1-1.
O'Malley at third and Uden at first, charging in hot on that one when Monty showed bunt.
A chaotic charge for the Hoosiers, and sometimes that's all that fake bunt is for, to familiarize these Michigan coaches with the defensive strategies of the Hoosiers. The 1-1 pitch, Montemurano squares to bunt again and again pulls back. The pitch misses low and away, and the count now 2-1. Lindsay Montemurano hitting .345 with runners on, has 8 home runs on the season. Good for 5th on the team. 2-1 the count on the third baseman, Montemurano. The pitch on its way from Wood. Up and in and off the glove of Dotson to the backstop it goes, and Canfield trots down to second base. Easily on the passed ball. The count now 3-1 on Montemurano. First base is open, and Abby Ramirez is on deck.
Another runner in scoring position already here in the bottom of the second inning for the Wolverines. Still none out. And now we'll have a quick meeting in the circle, it looks like, between Dotson and Wood. That will be monitored by home plate umpire Sally Keller.
None of the infielders coming in to join, and Keller checks in, and Dotson heads back to her spot behind home plate. Monty and Hutch having some words down the third baseline before Montemurano is told to step back into that righty batter's box. We've got a game to play.
Telling her to stay in her process here in the 3-1 count. You will never see a Wolverine hitter swing the bat on the 3-1, or very, very rarely.
Maybe less so on the 3-0. 3-1 we'll see. The pitch on its way, Montemurano takes, and it misses high for ball 4. So no swing there on 3-1.
First base was open.
First base now filled. Abby Ramirez at the plate with runners on first and second. Nobody out. The infield and outfield move in on Ramirez, who's got some pop to the gaps, but mostly a slap hitter will look to line or ground one past this drawn-in infield and speed down the first. The first pitch on its way. Ramirez swings and taps one over towards second base. The play is to first from Aaron Lehman. The runners advance. Not a sacrifice bunt, but a sacrifice out that moves the runners up nonetheless. The Wolverines with runners on second and third and the top of the lineup coming up in Sierra Lawrence.
Plays about the same as small ball, advancing the runners.
No chance at the double play given the positioning of the infielders there. Ramirez did her job. The first pitch on its way to Lawrence. Fastball misses off the plate away for ball one. Lawrence walked in 5 pitches in her first at-bat. First base again open. Sierra Romero on deck. Josie Wood looks in, winds, delivers. The pitch on its way. Breaking ball, that one. Right over the plate, caught a lot of the outer half, and the count moves to 1-1.
Good comeback pitch there from Wood. Gets herself right back in it.
Took a little something off it. The count 1-1 on Lawrence. Wood winds and delivers. Lawrence takes. Another fastball in there for a called strike 2, about belt high. Looked good. Maybe Lawrence sitting on something else. Either way, the count now 1-2 on the Michigan center fielder. Wood working quickly. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging a line drive back up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Scoring from third is Canfield. Montemurano takes a wide turn and stops at third. And the Wolverines with runners at first and third. They get the run in on the Sierra Lawrence RBI single.
I think Hutch might have wanted Montemurano to go there. Was giving her a little bit of a showing as she pulled back into third base, but that will increase the Wolverines' lead to 3-0 here in the bottom of the second inning.
Maybe non-committal there from Hutch at third base. The center fielder, Rebecca Blitz, was blitzing in on that line drive single. Lawrence hit it hard. Would have been a tight play at the plate, and with the heart of this lineup coming up for the Wolverines, maybe best to leave that run at third base for the big bats to knock home.
The biggest bat of them all. Currently talking with Coach Hutch down the third baseline. That would be Sierra Romero for those unfamiliar with her batting prowess.
It is, I believe, Michelle Gardner out there in the circle talking to her pitcher, Josie Wood. No changes made just yet, but you have to imagine there is action. We can see there is action in the Indiana bullpen presently. 2 pitchers warming up.
You are right. Another product of Coach Carol Hutchins' system. Michelle Gardner in her 8th season with the Indiana Hoosiers, a product of the Maize and Blue. I believe 1989 was her graduating year.
So Romero hasn't seen a strike yet. Hit by a pitch on a 2-0 count in her first plate appearance. The first pitch on its way. Fastball misses up and out. Outside for ball 1.
And I wouldn't be entirely surprised if Wood were to avoid the strike zone. Not necessarily walk Romero, but she does have the opportunity to give her a base.
The 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses low, and the count moves to 2-0.
That has proven to be a dangerous option, though, with Christner waiting on deck.
Romero, the player of last year's Big Ten tournament, hit at least a couple home runs during that affair down in Columbus. Wood looks in, the 2-0 pitch on its way. Romero swings and misses. Big hack at a pitch off the plate outside. Romero anxious and eager to drive these runs home.
Almost sounded to me like she might have gotten just a little piece of it, but home plate umpire Sally Keller did not show foul ball.
It's odd to see Romero swing like that, flailing at the ball with one hand. The count now 2-1. Romero settles herself. The pitch on its way. Fastball misses way high. Dotson has to lunge out of her stance to grab it, and the count moves to 3-1 on Sierra Romero. Christner awaits on deck. She's got 1 of 3 Wolverines hits on the day. 1 of 4, I should say. The 3-1 pitch on its way to Romero, swinging a line drive, knocked down by Wood in the circle. She fires over to first base. Lawrence advances to second. And a scary play, but a nice defensive effort there by Josie Wood to get the second out of the inning.
Great play by Wood. Luckily, that one caught her in the mitt. Able to knock that one down without hurting any body parts. Doesn't appear to be flinching or shaken whatsoever. That one came off like a rocket back up the middle.
That'll bring up Kelly Christner. The first pitch on its way from Wood. Breaking ball misses low and away for ball 1. Christner, a soft single up the middle in her first plate appearance. The infield shading a bit farther back on the lefty Christner. Blitz takes several steps in center field. The 1-0 pitch on its way. Slow breaking ball misses off the plate away, and the count moves to 2-0.
Christner struck out in her last at bat, trying to do a bit better here, up in the count 2-0.
That last pitch, 50 miles per hour on the gun. Michigan hasn't seen a lot of lefty arms this year. The 2-0 on its way. Line drive again off the glove of Wood. Ricochets toward the second baseman, Lehman. Christner beats it out at first base. And oh man, that if Romero hit it hard, Christner hit an absolute rocket up the middle. That one would have been very dangerous if Wood did not react so quickly.
And a great chance for Wood to catch that one on the fly, but it just went right in and out of the glove, knocked right down, and unable to make the play at second base. It looks as though that Coach Gardner for the Hoosiers has signaled for a pitching change, and sure enough, trotting in from the third base line will be the replacement pitcher for the Hoosiers.
It is an infield single for Kelly Christner. Easily could have made it to the outfield. A run scores. The score now 4-0 in favor of Michigan.
We will check in on our lineup and see who has come in to replace Wood so far. Wolverines chasing her out of this one in just the bottom of the second inning as she exits to a nice round of applause from the Indiana faithful who have traveled down the third base line.
It is Emily Kirk in the circle for the Hoosiers. A 3.95 ERA on the season, a 2.06 whip, 2.06 walks per innings pitched, surrendered by the Hoosiers righty. A sophomore out there in the circle, and she will be facing Kelsey Susala once we get back underway.
Righty arm out of Round Rock, Texas for the Hoosiers. A much more conventional pitching style than Wood has. Starts her foot just shy of the rubber. Not quite the run-up.
Perhaps not quite as much zip on her pitches. At least they look to be lower effort, and oftentimes that is an asset as a pitcher, being able to deliver velocity while, you know, not really looking like you're straining yourself to get the pitch in there.
In her freshman year last year, Kirk made 5 appearances and 1 start. Her season was ended early by an injury, but has come back this season as a relief pitcher for the Indiana Hoosiers.
All 3 pitchers that Indiana utilizes in Kirk, Trainer, and Josie Wood, young guns. Kirk, the oldest of that trio, as a sophomore. This Indiana program may be one that we will see on the rise. They've got 3 seniors in the starting lineup. They've got 2 seniors in the, no, they do have 3 seniors in the starting lineup. So, you know, there's always roster turnover you have to account for, but, you know, those arms, if they can continue on the upward trend, could make a difference down the line. Susala struck out swinging her first plate appearance. The first pitch on the way from Kirk. Breaking ball misses just barely off the plate away. Tried to backdoor Susala with the breaking ball. Instead, the count 1-0 on the Michigan senior right fielder.
Stands tall in that lefty batter's box.
Holds the bat above her left shoulder, parallel to the ground. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, ducks in under the hands and misses below the knees. The count moves to 2-0. Blanco, perhaps the hardest hit ball of the day, and that's saying something, waiting on deck for the maize and blue. The 2-0 on its way. Susala takes, misses low, delayed steal, and taking second base is Kelly Christner. That's something Carol Hutchins loves to go to, and usually defenses are not up to the challenge and just let Christner take that base.
Hesitation between first and second base for Christner, but able to wheel in.
3-0 the count. Susala steps back in the box, taking all the way, and the pitch is on the outside corner for a called strike 1, just above the knees.
And if not on a 3-1, you will never see a swing on a 3-0 count in this Wolverines lineup. Top to bottom, never.
Susala steps back up. 3-1 now the count. The righty Kirk checks her armband, winds and delivers to Kelsey Susala. Swing and a drive, deep center field. That one way back, and that ball is way gone. It vanishes into the night. A 3-run long balla for Kelsey Susala, and the Michigan Wolverines take a 7-0 lead here in the bottom of the second.
What a rip from Susala, dead center field, straight away, probably 240 feet. Well clears this high wall at Beard Field, and as you said, disappearing into the night, and the Wolverines already up 7-0.
Kirk made a mistake up in the zone to one of the best power hitters in the game of college softball, and Kelsey Susala, certainly one of the best power hitters in the best lineup, arguably, in college softball. Susala made no mistake. That one a no doubter off the bat.
And this lineup does just not let up. Tara Blanco stepping to the plate now. Big power hitter.
First pitch from Kirk. Splits the heart of the plate for a called strike one. Blanco, a 2-run single, should have been a double in her first plate appearance back in the first inning.
She will take the 2 RBIs nonetheless.
The 0-1 pitch on its way from Kirk. The base is now empty. Blanco swings and slices one foul toward the right side above the screen and into the crowd. The Wolverines playing in front of fewer fans than they're accustomed to.
This was standing room only for the Penn State game prior to this one. Again, the home team here, the Nittany Lions, provided the Wolverines pull out this one, they will play tomorrow.
The 0-2 pitch misses high for ball one. Blanco, a patient and potent 2-strike hitter.
I think that was the situation that you and I were hoping for, a Penn State-Michigan semifinal tomorrow. Get the home fans in here, as well as this very well-traveled Michigan Wolverines fan base.
The 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball toward the right side, off the glove of Golovic, the shortstop, and Blanco reaches on the air. Might have been an infield single. That was hit toward the left side, my mistake. But either way, Blanco reaches base. An error goes up on the scoreboard. Would have been a tough play either way for the shortstop, Golovic.
Not much you can do if you're Coach Gardner. She steps out of her dugout there to just yell some words of encouragement or perhaps constructive criticism to her shortstop.
That's going to bring up Aiden Falk, grounded out to second, her first plate appearance. The first pitch, breaking ball, misses low for ball one. Falk sort of burst on the scene for the Wolverines last year in their first game of the Big Ten tournament. Might have even been against this Indiana team. Took a ball deep over the left field fence, a 3-run home run.
Did she hit the scoreboard on that one at Ohio State? I believe she did.
She came very close if she didn't hit it. The 1-0 pitch misses high and outside, and the count moves to 2-0 on Aiden Falk. Airmail Aiden, as she is called by some.
When that ball gets over the fence.
2-0 the count. Blanco at first base with 2 outs. The pitch on its way from Kirk, swinging a line drive. That one, a diving catch, a sliding catch by Rebecca Blitz in center field. I was going to say that one's going to drop, but Blitz got to it before it could drop down to the ground. Hit a little bit too hard off the bat of the lefty Falk, and unfortunately she'll head back to the Michigan dugout, put on the rest of her catcher's gear, and head back out there with a 7-0 lead for the Wolverines as we head into the top of the third here at Beard Field in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania.
Again, this is WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball live from Happy Valley. The sun is now well down, just the lights beaming here on Beard Field. And a good showing from the Michigan faithful, well down this first base line and a little bit behind home plate.
You got to credit the Hoosiers, too. It's not as long of a drive for them, but there's plenty of red in this crowd.
Yep.
I think we're seeing the Hoosiers faithful mostly down the third base line. The first base line is largely unseen to us up here in the booth, but it is far more densely packed with Wolverines fans. The press box that we are in, it turns toward the right down the first base line, and without leaning over, we can't see the right field foul pole, but we will lean over if the ball gets hit out there.
Can't say enough about how nice the booth is here at Beard Field, Penn State. An excellent job with this field. They have the press box up behind us to the right in a separate area for the writers. We have our own private booth here today. For the home radio, visiting radio has their own booth as well, and there's private booths for the BTN broadcast.
My only gripe, Jeremy, is that they didn't feed us today.
Well, I think the food might have been upstairs, but we got here a little bit late, had some delays getting out of Ann Arbor this morning. Couldn't stop at Chick-fil-A on the way. I was really bummed about that.
We'll make it there tomorrow.
I did find out that there is a Chick-fil-A in the University Union here at Penn State, and we don't have a game until at least 3:30 tomorrow, so I'm going.
If you want to understand our devotion to Chick-fil-A, well, you can check out our blog. Where is that at, Jeremy?
I don't know. Did we ever post that?
No, it was posted.
Well, the blog is linked to the Twitter account. If you want to go find it, it's on WordPress. I believe WCBNsports.wordpress.com. But You can find the link on our Twitter account at WCBN Sports, and while you're there, feel free to tweet us. But yeah, last time we went to Indiana, I believe, when you were with us, and I Googled, Chick-fil-A has this awesome feature where you can put your route in, like where you're driving to and from, and it'll tell you every Chick-fil-A on the route. And there were like 6 of them in Indianapolis alone. But we did not make one because the game got out late, because we went to overtime. Great win, award-winning broadcast, but not enough for the Chick-fil-A.
We won an award for Best College Sports Team at the Great Lakes Broadcasting Conference out in East Lansing, Michigan.
Just in Lansing proper, actually. Not where the Spartans reside.
Sarah Golovic leading things off for the Hoosiers. The shortstop awaits the first pitch from Betza. She squares to bunt and pops it foul off the screen behind home plate. The pitch was coming in hot and high. Not easy to lay down for Golovic.
We were there a week ago this past Tuesday with the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. Always feels good to be recognized. And we can now say the award-winning WCBN Sports.
0-1 the count on Golovic, hitting 176 on the season. Swings and fouls it back to the screen behind home plate. She is quickly behind in the count, 0-2 against Megan Betza, who, out of the first 6 outs she has recorded 5 via the strikeout. 0-2 the count, the infield and outfield shaded straight away. Maybe a slightly in at the corners in the outfield. Betza gets the sign. The 0-2 pitch on its way. Breaking ball just misses low. Very close. The crowd down the first base side wanted it, but the count moves to 1-2.
Betza doing her best to paint these corners here today. Wood tried to do it as well, but home plate umpire Sally Keller has been pretty tight all around on the outside edges of the strike zone.
Falk looks toward the dugout, gets a sign, relays it to her pitcher, Betza. The 1-2 pitch on its way, swinging a pop-up foul, bounces off the top of the screen and over the press box. The count remains 1-2.
Interesting note, a heated game for the Michigan water polo team against the Arizona Sun Devils. Michigan's leading 4-3 with 3 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. I believe that is the NCAA tournament.
We'll keep them in our thoughts as they proceed toward glory. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, misses off the plate outside. And I'm not sure whether it's a coach or just a scorekeeper in the Michigan dugout, but she is gesturing animatedly at home plate umpire Sally Keller. Wanted that call.
See what Megan Betza does here with the 2-2 count. Has a tiny bit of room to play with.
Betza gets the sign, winds, and delivers the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Golovic down on strikes. Battled in the at-bat, but in the end it was for naught. A leadoff strikeout for Betza to start things here in the top of the third.
6th strikeout of the day for Megan Betza. Continues to roll. Keep in mind, this is just the top of the third inning.
I think it was Jennifer Brundage, by the way, who was disagreeing with the home plate umpire's calls. Rebecca Blitz up now with nobody on and 1 out. Swings the first pitch and taps it foul.
Out of 7 potential outs, 6 of them are Megan Betza's strikeouts so far here.
My question is, why not all 7?
Let one get just a little piece of it and put it in play.
Unfortunate. Blitz struck out swinging her first at-bat back in the first inning. Still hitting .358 on the season. The 0-1 pitch bunted at. Did Blitz pull back? The appeal down to third base. And umpire Bill Gomeluk waves his hands. She did not go, and the count moves to 1-1.
Looked pretty close to me. We'll check the TV feed there.
I think we're a little late checking the TV as well. Bit late on the pullback, but just in time for the umpires. The 1-1 pitch on its way from Betza. Swinging a pop-up, shallow left center. Lawrence coming on to make an easy catch on the run. And now 2 outs for the Hoosiers in the top of the third. Just a lazy fly ball off the bat of Blitz. Would have been trouble were the outfield at normal depth. But they were shaded in, and Lawrence shaded toward that left center field gap on Blitz, who is a slap hitter, and easily made the catch. It's going to bring up Aaron Lehman. Came close to a long ball back in the first inning before striking out. The first pitch on its way from Betza. Breaking ball ricochets off the glove of Aiden Falk and bounces back toward the Michigan dugout. The pitch missed outside for ball 1.
Spotted a few what appear to be players from the Minnesota Golden Gophers team, the number 2 seed in this tournament. They won today, beating the Illinois Fighting Illini to advance to tomorrow.
My bad, 1-0 the count. The pitch up and in, and it hits Lehman. At least I thought it did. Looks like it actually bounced off the handle of the bat and bounced into foul territory. Yeah,
indeed it did.
Upon further review, it did. The count now 1-1.
Right off the butt of the bat there. I was going to say, if she actually got hit, it was a very interesting response. She just kind of shrugged her shoulders like, really? You hit me? But bottom of the bat.
So the count now 1-1. Betsa Wines delivers. The 1-1 pitch is grounded. Foul. It bounced off of Lehman. The umpire didn't see it. The throw down to first not going to be in time. That one definitely bounced off of Aaron Lehman. They've got to have some sort of appeal in now.
They do.
They're calling her back toward home plate. Was it the first base ump, Leah Bowen, who made the call?
The second that it hit Lehman, Leah Bowen had stepped off of the line at first base to try and get the attention of home plate umpire Sally Keller. Again, we can't see very well down that first base line all the way, but she had come off of her spot very early to bring back Lehman to a 1-2 count.
That's a good call right there, because it definitely did hit her. Maybe a tough view for Keller behind home plate. So 1-2 the count. Betsa Wines. The pitch, swinging a pop-up foul just over our heads and out behind us into the concourse area. The count remains 1-2. Perhaps the first conventional foul ball during this at-bat. Nobody on, 2 outs for the Hoosiers. Looking to scratch across a base runner and maybe a run in response to what has been an onslaught from the Wolverines. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Breaking ball, misses low in the dirt, bounces just in front of home plate, and the count moves to 2-2.
Betsa looking for her 7th strikeout of the evening. Has only given up 1 walk and 1 hit so far through 2 2/3 innings of work.
Betsa now calls time and calls Aiden Falk, the catcher, out to her. Maybe just talking about signs for the next pitch. There's no one in center field who might be stealing signs unless, you know, there's a conflict of interest with Big Ten and they're relaying things back to the catcher.
Just a quick conversation.
Back to the hitter, I should say.
I'd imagine they planned 1, maybe 2 pitches in advance. I'd like to see Megan Betsa try and bring the heater in here.
2-2 the count. Betsa Wines, the pitch, swinging a pop-up, shallow right center field. Shading out there is Sierra Romero. And in shallow right center field, she makes the catch for the final out of the 3rd. At least the top half. We head to the bottom half. Michigan leads 7-0 over the Hoosiers on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day, Morris. Interesting thought. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's head football coach, has been getting a lot of attention with the satellite camps that have been going on. Found out, I believe, yesterday or the day before, planning on going to Australia, American Samoa, Hawaii. What would Carol Hutchins do to get on those trips? Softball satellite camps around the world.
You know, I don't think she needs the attention.
It's not necessarily the attention even. Just
but
going global.
In order, to spread the gospel of Michigan softball, I think would be a great innovation for the Michigan athletic department. You know, I don't know whether it's budgetary concerns or something else that would prevent them from such an expansion, but really, the opportunity to get coached by Carol Hutchins.
If it's a budget concern, maybe they shouldn't be sending football on, I think it's up to 26 satellite camp trips now over the course of the summer, and again, around the world. I'd like to see what would happen if Coach Carol Hutchins brought the game of softball to a place like Australia. I'm pretty sure they already have softball, but to promote the game, which is, I think, a lot of the goal of what Jim Harbaugh's doing. Minor league recruiting, minor power play, maybe try and promote the game as a whole. I would love to see it. Go to Australia, have the first, I believe it would be the first Australian player on a Michigan softball team, or the first European player on a Michigan team.
I'll tell you, if I had a kid interested in playing softball and Carol Hutchins were coming to my area, I would jump at the chance to send him to that softball camp. First pitch called strike at the knees to Faith Canfield, who hit a single toward the left side in her first at-bat.
I got a few people in mind I would love to get into the softball clinic for the cancer benefit. That would be fantastic.
The 0-1 pitch now to Canfield. Breaking ball misses low and in. The count moves to 1-1. The Michigan freshman bolstered her average to .325 on the season with her first inning single. Holds the bat out in front of her, awaits the 1-1 pitch, swinging a tapper toward the left side. Golovic charges Fields, but has it ricochet off her glove. Another error for the Indiana shortstop, and the leadoff runner is on for the Wolverines. 2
errors on the board, both of them coming from Golovic.
That was not a difficult play. Looked like she was turning her head over toward first base before she had the ball in her mitt. Maybe still thinking about that last error on the last ball hit to her off the bat of Tara Blanco. Either way, the leadoff runner on for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the third, and that brings up Lindsay Montemurano. The first pitch from Kirk, breaking ball misses low for ball 1. Monty walked in her first plate appearance.
Michigan Water Polo did pull out the victory. A game winner from Allison Skaggs. Beat the Arizona State Sun Devils, I should say.
The 1-0 pitch misses low, and the count moves to 2-0 on Montemurano, who has proven adept at drawing walks for this Michigan Wolverines softball team. Monty with 21 free passes via the walk on the season. The 2-0 pitch on its way from Kirk. Fastball misses off the plate away, and the count now moves to 3-0 on Lindsay Montemurano. Abby Ramirez and then the top of the lineup await on deck. Kirk checks her wristband, juggles the ball, now winds and delivers the 3-0 pitch fastball right down the plate for a called strike 1.
Montemurano trying to get something going here for the Wolverines. Again, some ugly numbers so far. 2 runs in the bottom of the first and a 5 spot in the bottom of the second.
3-1 the count. Kirk delivers. Monty takes. The breaking ball misses high for ball 4, and Lindsay Montemurano has her second walk of the game. That's going to bring up Abby Ramirez. Ramirez 0 for 1 on the game. Grounded out to second base, advancing 2 runners in her first plate appearance.
And a meeting in the circle now. Just a quick conversation between Dotson and Kirk.
No one warming up in the Indiana pen. You got to think Kirk is going to be kind of tossed to the wolves as the top of the lineup awaits for the Wolverines with runners on and nobody out. Things could get ugly very quickly if Kirk can't recollect herself and find the plate. The first pitch to Ramirez, breaking ball, backdoor called strike on the outside corner.
As the information comes in that Michigan Water Polo win the first time a team from outside the West Coast has reached an NCAA Final Four, and the winning goal came with 4 seconds left. See the Twitter for a really nice goal.
The 0-1 pitch, another backdoor pitch, called strike on the outer edge, and the count moves to 0-2 on Abby Ramirez.
Wolverines trying to make their own history again here, looking for their 11th Big Ten tournament title on the weekend here.
The 0-2 pitch on its way from Kirk. Ramirez takes, and that breaking ball misses off the plate away for ball 1.
If the seeding holds, it would be in order for the Wolverines to host both a regional and super regional back in Ann Arbor in the following 2 weekends from today.
We will be bringing you every game that occurs at Alumni Field. The 1-2 pitch lined back up the middle, past the diving layman into right center field, a base hit. Taking the turn at third, heading home is Canfield, and she will score standing up. The throw not in time from Cawley. Montemurano stops at second base, and it is a hot shot RBI single off the bat of Abby Ramirez.
Kirk continues to struggle here in the bottom of the third inning, and as you mentioned, here comes the top of the Wolverines lineup. The hits just keep on coming in more ways than one.
Sierra Lawrence steps up, hit a line drive single back up the middle. Last inning during the second is part of a 5-run rally. Walked back in the first. The first pitch on its way, breaking ball misses low for ball 1. Sierra Romero on deck. Has yet to record a hit for the Wolverines. One of only 3 starters who has not recorded a hit. The pitch on its way, lofted softly into center field. That one's going to drop for a base hit. Good base running from Ramirez to scamper down to second. Could have been a force play. Monterano took her time and settles in at third. And the bases are loaded for Sierra Romero.
Man, that one landed perfectly for a bloop single to send the bases juiced, I should say. I've been stealing that from you lately. You don't really get to say it anymore.
It's all good, man. You got the juice now.
Ducks on the pond. The pond is full for Sierra Romero. None out in the inning. Nowhere to put her. And that means that Kirk is going to have to face the most dangerous hitter on this team head on.
The first pitch on its way, swinging a ground ball back up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Golovic. Delayed toss to second, gets the runner Lawrence. Romero beats it out at first. It's a fielder's choice that scores a run from third in Lindsey Montemurano. And now runners at the corners with 1 out for Kelly Christner.
And that advances Michigan's lead to 9-zip. 8 hits for the Wolverines, just 1 hit and 2 errors for Indiana, and a big goose egg in the runs column so far today.
Ducks on the pond, and Romero went fishing on the first pitch. Uncharacteristic to see her make weak contact in her first few at-bats, but we're sure she'll turn that around. The first pitch to Christner, breaking ball, misses low and away for ball 1.
Christner trying to clean up these runners on the corners. Kirk trying to get out of the inning with minimal damage done.
And a sight that must strike fear into her heart if she weren't already cowed by the 9-0 ball game. Susala on deck. The breaking ball misses off the plate inside. Now the count goes to 2-0 on Kelly Christner.
Good hitters count. We'll see how Kirk comes back now.
2-0 the count.
Taking her time with this pitch.
It's on its way. Christner swings. Ground ball back up the middle, fielded by Golovic. Flips to second for 1. And again, a bit of a botched exchange down there. The run scores from third. Golovic could have taken that one herself. Same with the ball hit by Romero. Instead, flipped to Lehman, who the timing was just off. Couldn't get a relay to first.
It has not been the best game defensively for Golovic at shortstop. 2 errors credited to her already. And that fumble might have cost the Hoosiers another run as Michigan runs it to double digits, 10-0.
Christner down at first with 2 outs for Kelsey Susala. The first pitch from Kirk, swinging a chopper over toward the right side. Play by Lehman, flips over to first, not in time. Susala beats it out for an infield single. Lehman had to range far into the hole. Perhaps the first baseman, Uden, would have had a better play. Instead chose to retreat to first base. And when that ball was not cut off, Susala had to dig down, and she got there.
It was going to be a tight play either way, but now a meeting in the circle for the Hoosiers yet again. Head coach Gardner trying to talk with Kirk. It doesn't look like she's signaled for a pitching change, and again, nobody is warming up in the pen area on that third base side for the Hoosiers, so it seems as though it is still Kirk's ball game, but now 10-0. Wolverines with runners on first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. It's been a slugfest for the Wolverines so far, Morris.
Michigan in the midst of a 17-game winning streak, showing no signs of letting up. And, you know,
it's really how last season went.
Absolutely. If you got rid of every game, the Wolverines are 1-3 in games decided by 1 run this year. You know, if you get rid of all the close games, or maybe you turn a couple more into wins, the Wolverines have basically been winning all year. The only blemish, real blemish that stands out is the 8-0 loss to the Florida Gators. And I think it's safe to say they are hungry for a shot at revenge. That brings up Tara Blanco. The first pitch on its way, swinging a line drive into center field. Another diving catch by Rebecca Blitz, charging in and robbing Tara Blanco of another base hit, and that'll do it for the Wolverines in the bottom of the third. Blitz, the lone bright spot for the Hoosiers as we head to the top of the fourth. Michigan with a 10 spot. They lead the Hoosiers 10-0 here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. And I think it is now time for a trivia question.
Oh boy, give it to him, Morris.
I guess this will test how many of you listeners, those of you who remained, read the MLive article that I'm going to reference. But anyway, Sierra Romero earned her 3rd Big Ten Player of the Year honor in the most recent awards, deservedly so. Sarah Driesinga heading out to the circle, by the way. Who is the only other softball player to earn 3-time Big Ten Player of the Year awards? A hint, she played for the Northwestern Wildcats.
If you know the answer, or if you're able to Google an MLive article, be sure to comment.
Hold on. Don't Google it. We're trying to go with the non-Googlers first. But if you think you know the answer, feel free to tweet it at us at WCBN Sports or respond on our YouTube video. Who is the only other Big Ten player to win 3-time Player of the Year honors?
And she played for the Northwestern Wildcats. Interestingly enough. As you mentioned, Megan Betza has given way to Sarah Driesinga coming into pitch here in the top of the 4th. That would presumably be so that Megan Betza will be fresh to potentially start tomorrow's game, as it appears the Wolverines are pretty comfortably going to pull this one out against the Hoosiers again. Not until everything is said and done, but it is a 10-0 lead, and there's a lot to be said for that.
With the condensed nature of this tournament, the Wolverines will have to dig deep into their reserves of depth. We may see, it looks like we do have a new catcher out there for the Wolverines in Katie Alexander, the freshman.
Who's been having herself quite a run here. Had a grand slam a few games back for the Wolverines. Trying to earn her way into this lineup, and it's gotten her a halfway game time play here in the 4th inning.
Was that during the Maryland series?
I believe so.
Must have been. That explained why I missed it, unfortunately. But that's pretty sweet. Good to see her behind home plate, getting the reps. The freshman Alexander. Certainly we'll see more of her down the stretch.
A lot of players, if Michigan has a lot of depth in just general levels, that catching position, very deep.
Oh man, Falk, capable of playing all over the field, but
Subcheck behind her. Katie Alexander capable of playing behind the plate.
that kind of competition just serves to elevate the play all around.
We'll see how the new battery does. Again, it's Katie Alexander behind the plate and Sarah Driesinga in the circle.
The first pitch on its way, fastball misses high for ball 1. Driesinga, a senior out of Hudsonville, Michigan, a 5th-year senior for the Wolverines, looking to help take them to the promised land.
West Side represent.
The 1-0 pitch on its way, swinging a tapper toward the left side. Monty fields it in one motion, fires across the diamond to first, awkwardly fielded there by Tara Blanco, takes a tumble. Think maybe had her foot sticking out a bit far.
And I think she was clipped by Cauley as she ran down to first base. Just watching the replay on TV, it looked like she had her foot extended to make the reaching grab, but might have just been tripped. It was an interesting running path by Cauley. Came well off the first base line inside and clipped Tara Blanco, but she seems okay.
1 up, 1 down for the Hoosiers, and the first pitch to Karamia Cerrigos ducks under her swinging bat for a swinging strike 1. Big cut by Cerrigos, who is 0 for 1 on today's game. Ball 1 pitch on its way. Breaking ball misses off the plate, perhaps inside for ball 1. The count now 1-1.
Any mistakes that we make in this broadcast, I'm going to credit to the long day that we've had, the long drive, and the lack that we still haven't eaten.
The lack that we still haven't eaten?
Or the fact that we still haven't eaten.
There you go.
See?
A mistake,
you know what?
Just for you. The 1-1 on its way. Check swing. The pitch missed. Did she go too far? Not even an appeal. Tara Blanco wants an appeal. She'll get one, and it is a strike. Leah Bowen down the first base line has been kind to the Wolverines today and says Cerrigos went too far. I don't think we would have even seen an appeal if not for Tara Blanco's frantic gestures down at first base.
You get what you ask for, Tara Blanco.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and tapped foul on the left side. It'll be picked up by Montemarano just in front of the Indiana dugout and tossed back to Sarah Driesinga. Blanco, perhaps the only Wolverine with a blemish on her uniform dirt still caking the front end from her slide back in the first inning. 1-2 the count on Cerrigos, who stands tall and awaits. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball just off the plate outside. Very close pitch. The crowd wanted it. The catcher, Alexander, wanted it, but she did not get it. Upon further review, did look like it missed the outer edge. Driesinga pouring that one in there at 65 miles an hour. Not a lot of time to make a decision for Karamia Cerrigos. 2-2 the count, nobody on, 1 out in the top of the fourth. The pitch on its way, breaking ball misses high, and the count moves full on Karamia Cerrigos.
Driesinga looking for her first strikeout. Megan Betza had 6 in her start here this evening. Only gave up 1 hit and 1 walk in 3 full innings.
The payoff pitch swung on and grounded foul down the third base side. That last pitch, 63 miles an hour, up around the letters with side-to-side movement. I'm talking about the ball, not the foul ball. But either way, nasty stuff out of the right arm of Sarah Driesinga. Doesn't get the same strikeouts that Megan Betza does, but still very, very tough to hit.
Still good at changing the eye levels, and you've seen that here in just the first couple of at-bats since she's come into this game in the top of the fourth. Keeping hitters guessing, keeping them on their toes, and that really contributes.
The 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled. I think that one off the right foot, the back foot of Karamia Cerrigos. She's going to have to walk it off, takes off her helmet, grimaces a bit, crouches down, taps her feet, and she'll be ready to step back in the box.
Seems to be all right. Just a quick word with her head coach, Ms. Gardner, down the third base line.
The count remains full. The Indiana fan base, I'd say, noticeably thinned from the start of this game.
Just the general fan base, too.
The full count pitch just ducks low for ball 4, and Cerrigos ambles down to first base with a 1-out walk. So Cerrigos on first, and stepping up to the plate for the Indiana Hoosiers will be Michelle Huber. Looks like a pinch runner out there for the Hoosiers. It will be Alyssa Rosati.
Number 16, Alyssa Rosati.
Rosati, the senior outfielder, hoping to provide some speed and scratch across a run for the Hoosiers. They've got 2 innings left before they reach the mercy rule, barring a bit of a rally.
Boy, if for nothing else, just to avoid the 0 on the scoreboard, would be big to push a run across here.
First pitch to Huber, fastball misses off the plate away. Looked like Driesinga hit her spot, but Alexander set up maybe off the plate. The count 1-0 on Huber.
The crowd has thinned, but I think that's because there were a lot of Penn State fans still here from the previous game trying to get a look at the Wolverines.
The 1-0 pitch, big cut and a miss. Huber unable to find that pitch off the outer edge, and the count moves to 1-1.
Speed there from Driesinga beating her. Able to beat you up with the speed and the breaking ball.
The 1-1 pitch, fastball misses off the plate away, and the count moves to 2-1. Infield and outfield straight away for the Wolverines. The infield perhaps as close to double play depth as you're going to see at a softball game. It's really hard to turn those double plays. Ground ball up the middle. 2-1 the count on Huber. The pitch on its way. Breaking ball ducks low. And the count moves to 3-1 on Michelle Huber. 10-0 the Wolverines lead in the top of the fourth. 10 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Maize and Blue. Decked out in mostly white and blue today. No runs on 1 hit, 2 errors, both by the shortstop Golovic for the Hoosiers. The 3-1 pitch on the way. Fastball misses low. And it's another walk for Sarah Driesinga, uncharacteristic for the Michigan righty, putting 2 runners on via the free pass.
That will draw Jennifer Brundage out from the dugout to come have a word with Sarah Driesinga. The arm specialist in this Michigan coaching staff, trying to calm down the relief pitcher now. Again, Megan Betza started this one, gave up just 1 hit and 1 walk in 3 full innings. Driesinga came in here in the top of the fourth. Now finds herself in a bit of a jam. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The meeting will now be broken up by home plate umpire Sally Keller.
According to our I-team, Michigan SID, softball SID, Leah Howard just got a shout out on the Big Ten broadcast. We'd like to give her a shout out as well.
Oh, she puts up with us. Oh, we love it. Has really given us a home as a broadcasting group for this Michigan softball team, encourages us. Even took some of our catchphrases from last season. Can't spell Betza without beast or best.
First pitch from Driesinga, haven't anagramized her last name yet. In there for a called strike one.
Just a little bit more difficult. We'll work on that tonight in the hotel before tomorrow.
0-1 the count on Kelsey Dotson. The 0-1 pitch misses high for ball one the count, even at 1-1 with 2 on and 1 out for the Hoosiers. But yeah, none of what we do in the broadcast booth would be possible without Leah.
Would love to get the Wolverines out of this one with just 5 innings of work.
The 1-1 pitch, a called strike at the knees on the inner half.
And to elaborate on that, just because tomorrow Wolverines are looking at a potential doubleheader if they are to win their semifinal matchup, presumably against the Penn State Nittany Lions, if they hold on to win here in this one and then on to a championship game.
The 1-2 pitch, hard breaker, misses off the plate away. The count moves to 2-2.
Looking to be a jam-packed Saturday, especially because the rain is looking to move into the area early tomorrow morning and doesn't appear on the forecast to be letting up until around 4-ish o'clock. And when they're trying to squeeze 3 games in, we might be here a little bit late tomorrow night.
I'm ready for it. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses off the plate away. And the count moves full on Kelsey Dotson. Driesinga having some uncharacteristic control issues out there in the circle.
You wonder how long she will be given. She obviously has a very comfortable cushion, 10-0, but again, when you're looking at using that arm a lot again tomorrow, I don't know how long of a rope Carol Hutchins will give her, but trying to avoid yet another walk.
The 3-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball toward short field. A quick flip to second. The relay to first. In time. It's a ground ball double play. Ramirez, Romero to Blanco. Whip quick like Tinkers to Evers to Chance. Perfect double play. 6-4-3 gets the Wolverines out of the inning.
And that was just what the doctor ordered to get Sarah Driesinga out of what was proving to be a tough little half inning there to keep the Wolverines' perfect game intact so far. Not necessarily perfect, gave up a hit and a walk, but perfect on the score line. 10-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Happy Valley. You're listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball. Thanks for tuning in with us. Morris, any update on the trivia question there?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll just reiterate it to those who may not have heard. Who is the only other player other than Sierra Romero to be a 3-time Big Ten Player of the Year? Played for the Northwestern Wildcats from 2005 to 2007. She won the award.
And if you are the lucky winner of this trivia question, you will receive an on-air shout-out and nothing else from us, because we are just a student org.
Nothing else.
Our budget stretched with this trip here, but we're happy to be here.
Yeah,
not really stretched, but we're here.
We're here, and we're happy to be here.
Got some comfortable digs at the Days Inn tonight. Morris and I are going to rest easy. It was a long drive, but it was a good drive, I think.
Yeah, I expanded my musical horizons to some of the country that you were putting on.
Hey, can't say no to Rockin' the Beer Gut by the Trailer Choir.
Oh, jeez. That was a good one. You know, I expect near perfection from this softball team, but even through all of that, they find ways to surprise me. I didn't think, given their positioning, given where that ground ball was hit off the bat of Kelsey Dotson, sure, she's a catcher, maybe not the fleetest of foot, but the turn was so quick. Romero just as easily could have barehanded it in the double play, wouldn't have been any quicker than that.
And almost a bit of a delayed throw from second base down to first as well. I mean, it almost looked like there was a moment of hesitation, but still, fantastic job by the Wolverines to turn the double play there.
You know, especially when juxtaposed with some of the miscues we've seen out of the Hoosiers today, it was refreshing to see something it was brilliant.
Michigan baseball, it appears, lost 3-2 in Columbus to the school I will not name. That one just came across the board here on Twitter. Again, 3-2, the Wolverines fall to the team from the South.
Katie Alexander, the catcher, leading things off for the Wolverines against Emily Kirk. The first pitch on its way. Breaking ball ducks in under the hands and on the inside corner for a called strike one.
Alexander stepped into the game in the top of the fourth, the last half inning, to take over the duties behind the plate, taking over for Aiden Falk, getting some good playing time here. Good to see.
Alexander holds the bat out in front, pulls it back, and swings. Grounds one on one, chop right back to the pitcher, Kirk, who throws over to first for the first out of the inning. 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines, and that'll bring up Faith Canfield.
I gotta tell you, I've seen some of the gear that these Penn State fans have and the Minnesota fans have. Makes me really excited for when this new Nike stuff comes in. I saw the 50% sale. Everything Adidas now is 50% off at the M10.
If you want some knockoff Michigan gear, hey, it's still the pretty much the same maize and blue. The first pitch fouled back to the screen by Faith Canfield. Still mostly the same colors. So.
My bank account is scared for August 1st, Morris. Going bananas at the M10.
Man, we thought we were getting deals on the Adidas stuff last year. just imagine now. Those polos quickly replaced with WCBN official gear. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball called strike on the outer edge. The count moves to 0-2 on Faith Canfield.
Kirk trying to get a clean half inning for the Hoosiers here. Michigan 2 in the first, 5 in the second, and 3 in the third puts them at a 10-0 lead.
The 0-2 pitch, swinging a tapper toward the left side, fielded by Golovic, fires over to first, and that will retire Faith Canfield for the second out of the inning.
Close play over at first, but a good job from Golovic, who has had a tough night over at short. Makes a strong throw there and maybe get a little confidence back.
You know, I think that is a new shortstop. That is now Rachel O'Malley playing shortstop for the Indiana Hoosiers. So I guess it makes sense that we saw, improved throws out of that spot, maybe an improved glove. It didn't look like Golovic. I couldn't peg her instantly because I don't know this Indiana team as well as the Wolverines. But that is Rachel O'Malley.
Meanwhile, a pinch hitter for the Wolverines, Amanda Vargas, stepping to the plate now. Will step in for Lindsay Montemurano.
I think it is Kennedy Cribbs now down at third base for the Hoosiers. Bit of a defensive change that we were unaware of up until now.
Can't see the numbers from here. That's how I tell.
First pitch on its way to Vargas. She takes off the plate inside for ball one. Vargas, the sophomore righty. Well, we don't have stats on her quite yet because our stat feed has lagged a little bit behind. Penn State not doing the ship-shape job we're accustomed to over at U of M. The 1-0 pitch to Vargas, slow breaking ball, splits the plate for a called strike one.
Morris, the Detroit Tigers lost again.
I am shocked.
1-0 to the Orioles again tonight. I'm just beside myself what to do with that team.
It's brutal. The 1-1 pitch on its way. Another breaking ball. That one catches the outside corner for a called strike two.
Thank goodness I have this Michigan softball team that is so dominant and so good that I can feel good when I watch this as opposed to when I have to watch the garbage fire that is the Detroit Tigers.
Vargas holds the bat out in front, pulls it back. The 1-2 pitch just misses low for ball two.
Close take there from Vargas. Couple groans from the Indiana Hoosiers faithful down that third base side. Vargas still alive, though.
It was a very good pitch from Kirk, but not quite on the edge. The 2-2 pitch on its way. Vargas swings and grounds that one. Backhanded lunging stop. O'Malley from her knees. The throw to first not in time. Vargas beats it out. That one's got to go as an infield single. Perhaps if O'Malley had gloved it cleanly, she could have made the play, but a very tough play over there at short. So Hutchins motioning toward the dugout, talking to the home plate ump Sally Keller. And I think we're going to see a pinch runner for Amanda Vargas. Will it be Rich Valsky? Will it be Wald?
Nikki Wald coming out of the dugout for the Wolverines.
Mary Sabonik, the other pinch runner utilized by the Wolverines. But yep, Nikki Wald out there.
The curly hair of Nikki Wald, a dead giveaway for the pinch runners.
Abby Ramirez will hit now for the Michigan Wolverines. Had a hard RBI single through the hole on the right side her last at-bat.
And it is not Abby Ramirez coming to bat now. The switch-ups continue. It will be Natalie Peters stepping to the plate for the Wolverines, the freshman.
Pitch hitting for
coming into this one. Batting lefty,
Natalie Peters.
trying to keep a 2-out inning alive here for the Wolverines.
Can you blame me? It's a lefty slap hitter hitting in the 9 spot with only ones on the back of her jersey.
There you go. Fair enough. Again, they just need to feed us.
Stands a little taller in the box. The first pitch, backdoor breaking ball. Doesn't quite catch the backdoor, off the plate away for ball 1 to the freshman Peters. Again, we're a bit dry on stats right now.
They haven't really been updating this stat broadcast, nor is mine even working, and we don't have paper stat sheets.
The 1-0 pitch grounded softly to short. O'Malley fires over to first and gets the speedy Peters by just a step. We head into the top of the 5th. Michigan leads 10-0 over the Indiana Hoosiers here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. I guess now is as good a time as any to get rid of that trivia answer. Nobody has chimed in with the answers, probably to be expected. It's a relatively obscure answer in that I hadn't heard of it. Not that I'm an expert or anything, but we don't quite have the listener base that we would normally have, so, you know, sometimes you get the answer, sometimes you don't. Our listeners have not come in with one, but I will provide it here. The only other Big Ten softball player to win the Big Ten Player of the Year award 3 times, Garland Cooper out of the Northwestern University Wildcats. Played from 2005 to 2007, and that's the only information you're getting on Garland Cooper because I did not bother to look anything up.
Oh my goodness, Morris. I'm looking at Justin Verlander threw a 4-hitter, and they still lost. Why?
One day it's the starting lineup, one day it's the starting pitching, one day it's the bullpen, just can't string it together. Faith Canfield out there playing second for the Wolverines. Ramirez will resume her spot at shortstop. I don't think there are any changes in the outfield. So
Doesn't look like it.
Canfield, the only replacement in the fielding other than, you know, Katie Alexander, who replaced Aiden Falk a couple innings ago.
Wolverines trying to record just 3 more outs and get their 18th straight victory in this Big Ten tournament quarterfinal against the Hoosiers. They would march on into the semifinal tomorrow against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Looking on the other end of the bracket, presumably if the seeding would hold and Michigan were to come out of that semifinal game tomorrow, it would be the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
I'm really looking forward to a potential Michigan-Minnesota showdown. Update, another replacement at first base now instead of Tara Blanco is Taylor Swearingen.
And that Minnesota team, a few of them, I count 5 Golden Gophers sitting on the third base side, I think, maybe doing a little pre-scouting on the Wolverines.
I just want to see this lineup, this red-hot Wolverines lineup against Sarah Gronewagen of the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
It'll be really fun.
A titanic, I'm trying to think of an alliterative way to finish that.
Again, that is if the seeding were to hold, the Golden Gophers would have to come out of the semifinal tomorrow, and the Wolverines would have to come out of this end of the bracket.
A sensational showdown. Points for alliteration. Taylor Uden leading things off against Driesinger. Swings the first pitch, taps it foul toward the left side. Monty picks it up and fires it back to Driesinger in the circle.
Again, the Wolverines just 3 outs away from a 5-inning run rule victory. They lead by 10 runs here in the top of the 5th inning. Sarah Driesinger trying to end this one. It was started by Megan Betza.
The 0-1 pitch again swung on and tapped foul toward the left side. Uden 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Her first at-bat against Megan Betza. Driesinger looking to follow in her footsteps. Behind Uden are Rachel O'Malley and, well, the batter formerly Sarah Golovic, now presumably someone new. The 0-2 pitch, hard breaking ball, misses off the plate away for ball 1.
As it stands right now, it would be a combined 1-hitter between Betza and Driesinger. Dominance in the circle here this evening from the Wolverines, really in tune with what they've done all season long.
1-2 the count. Driesinger working quickly, delivers, swinging a line drive. That one going to drop into right field. A 2-strike base hit to lead off the top of the 5th inning for Taylor Uden.
Curse it again.
That's going to bring up Rachel O'Malley. Yeah, Jeremy, you're not doing so well right now.
I shouldn't say anything. I should just sit here and just be quiet. I'll let you just do play-by-play. And
oh, Jeremy, I need you on this call. The pinch hitter in the on-deck circle will be Caitlin Canena, but before she takes her plate in the righty batter's box, it will be Rachel O'Malley, the starting third baseman, now shortstop for the Hoosiers. The first pitch on its way, hard swing and a foul ball down the third base line. Picked up by Christner in short left field after it bounced off the fence. And the count now 0-1. Time called as the ball returned to Katie Alexander behind home plate.
Just confirming some lineup card changes here with home plate umpire Sally Keller.
I think it's probably confirming the substitution. Oh, now we're going to see a pinch runner after one pitch.
Okay. Coming into pinch run for the Hoosiers, Amelia McDonough, sophomore utility player.
Heading out there instead of the first baseman, Taylor Uden. Indiana needs 2 runs here in the top of the 5th to prolong this game and most likely their season. The 0-1 pitch, fastball misses over the glove of Alexander back to the backstop. Might have had a play down at second if she picked it up cleanly. She did not. And moving down to second on the wild pitch is Amelia McDonough.
Driesinga has just been uncharacteristically wild so far here today. Hasn't really had the control that we've seen all season long, and maybe just a bit of an off night. But again, looking at using that arm a lot again tomorrow with Megan Betza. Trying to rein it in here and just end this one in 5.
1-1 the count. Driesinga winds and delivers, swinging a chopper toward the left side, just barely foul where it was picked up by Lindsay Montemorano. An alert play by the Michigan third baseman as O'Malley was not digging out of the box at all. Perhaps she knew it was foul, but you know, maybe if you field it quickly enough, you might be able to get that call. So 1-2 the count on Rachel O'Malley. Caitlin Canena waits on deck. Driesinga back on the rubber, working quickly, winds, delivers, swinging a ground ball fair this time down the third base line. Montemorano fields and fires over to first for the first out of the inning.
Love that glove that Monty has over at the hot corner. Just if the ball comes to her, you're just about sure you're going to get a clean play and a clean throw over to first, and that's just what they got there for the first out of the top of the 5th inning, now 2 outs away from an early win.
That's going to bring up Caitlin Canena. Canena, the senior, hitting for Golovic. The first pitch, a fastball off the plate outside for ball 1. Canena stands tall in that righty batter's box toward the back of it. A square stance, holds the bat nearly parallel to the ground, a very compact swing. You can tell she's got a lot of power in it. The 1-0 on the way, swinging a rocket foul down the first base line. One of Indiana's assistant coaches, fortunately not in the path of that one, as it was hit with some zip on it.
That one was 66 miles an hour out of the glove of Driesinga.
Probably closer to 80 off the bat of Caitlin Canena. 1-1 now the count. Driesinga will get another softball out in the circle. Looks toward the dugout.
Taking her time, just again trying to settle it down here. Has not been her sharpest in 2 innings of relief work.
Once she steps on the rubber, it is all business. The 1-1 pitch, fastball on the outside corner for a called strike 2. The count now 1-2 on Caitlin Canena. Amelia McDonough, the runner on second base, with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Michigan with a 10-0 lead. The 1-2 pitch on its way, swing and a miss. Canena, the pinch hitter, goes down on strikes, and Michigan 1 out away from advancing to the next round of this tournament.
We are also very happy in the booth that this one might be done early. I am still just thinking about food.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Jeremy.
It's been a long day.
It is Cassie Farmer, the senior catcher infielder for the Hoosiers, coming to the plate right now, pinch hitting for Rebecca Blitz. You got to think that this is just a gesture from head coach Michelle Garner, getting her senior one final at-bat before this season comes to a close. Rebecca Blitz, perhaps the best hitter in this lineup, taking a seat for the seniors. She swings the first pitch, golfs it deep into right field, tracking back and making the catch over the shoulder on the run is Kelsey Susella. The hardest hit ball we've seen by the Hoosiers all day will end the game. A well-struck ball from Cassie Farmer, but it is not enough to continue the rally. The Wolverines will walk out of here with a 10-0 win, a run rule victory over the Hoosiers here in the Big Ten Tournament quarterfinals.
A good game from the Wolverines. Strong showing to start off the Big Ten Tournament here. They will march on to tomorrow's semifinal matchup against the home host, the Penn State Nittany Lions. In that action, scheduled to begin at 3:30 p.m., but again, inclement weather may hold us off just a while, but hopefully we get all 3 games in tomorrow, the 2 semifinal games and the championship game. Again, we're hopeful for that, but we will keep you updated on our Twitter page at WCBN Sports. Be sure to follow us tomorrow as we will be hanging around this complex all day long and hopefully bringing you more coverage, more Michigan softball. The wins keep on rolling in. The runs keep on rolling in.
And we will keep on rolling into this press box tomorrow and, maybe even Sunday if it gets pushed that far. But for tonight, that's all we have for you. For Jeremy Parks from WCBN, I'm Morris Fabry, wishing all of you a good night and a Go Blue. Thank you so much to those of you who have tuned in.
Time to go get some food.